much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. So a few days ago, the Minister of State for Police Affairs, Ms. Iman Sulaiman Ibrahim, says that there is a commitment to the implementation of President Bola Tinubu's directive on the withdrawal of police personnel from VIP security duties. Among other key mandates, the minister says that the commitment is very imperative and they will follow through. Let me allow you to listen to the Minister of State for Police Affairs.
Our collective successes extends beyond departmental boundaries. It hinges on collaboration with the ministry, the broader police ecosystem, and other stakeholders who perform critical function of government and have a critical role in the emergence and in the fulfilling of the renewed hope police agenda. Effective communication of our activities is indispensable to build public trust and confidence in the Nigerian police force. Let us be intentional in enhancing the image of the Nigerian police force. This is a shared institutional and moral burden on each member of the management team and their respective departments to rise to the occasion. Business as usual is not an option. We must pledge our unwavering support to ensure the emergence of a world-class police force for Nigeria. As you are aware, our key mandate includes developing and implementing a harmonized police report, amending the Police Act, executing Mr. President's directive on the withdrawal of police personnel from the VIP security duties, and developing a community policing strategy, amongst others. We must not see these mandates as a mere task, but as a transformative initiative that can enhance internal security in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The Minister of State for Police Affairs, Iman Ibrahim, speaking at a retreat earlier this week in Abuja. But let's get to speak on this matter. I have an expert, a security consultant, a former director with the DSS, Mr. Mike Ejiofor. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It sounded to me like I've heard this before, right? Withdraw escort from VIPs. I don't know whether it sounds like deja vu to you too.
Oh, well. Same usual song. Any IG that is appointed will come and tell Nigerians we're going to withdraw details so that we'll have sufficient manpower to tackle our security challenge. Immediately after they are withdrawn, they are sent back. But the interesting aspect of this is that the directive is coming from Mr. President, according to the Minister of State Police Affairs, who incidentally I have not met yet, but is a fellow of the Security Institute, where I'm the president. And you can see, because there's a proverb in my place, he say it's where you start washing hands that you see, who will be able to rush food. You can see the setup. Chairman of the Police Service Commission, the IG, the Minister of Police Affairs, and the Minister of State, they seem to be working together for now. And that's a very good development for us. They all seem to be working together. Don't forget that then President Buhari promised to be recruiting 10,000 for 4 years, making 40,000. But because of the squabble between the Police Service Commission and the IG then, they were not able to do this recruitment. And the chairman of the Police Service Commission, who incidentally was a former IG too, has been able to harness and synergize all these people, bringing them together, to work together. And I think the process of recruiting for the police academy, and that's a good thing.
So now, why, if you look at it, Mr. Ejiofor, apologies, from Tafawa Balogun to Onovo, to Ringim, to Mohammed Abubakar,
yes.
Solomon Anase, Iman Ibrahim Idris, Mohammed Adamu, to Kayode Egbetokun, all of the former police IG from Tafawa Balogun up until Kayode Egbetokun have made similar statement of withdrawing or the withdrawal of police escort on VIPs. But like Tafawa Balogun, for example, I remember the conversation between Tafawa Balogun and the then governor of Lagos, Bola Tinubu, who at that point, at the end of the day, Tafawa Balogun had to say, the escort to judges should be returned, and they reviewed it, and in fact, eventually they returned the escorts back to the VIPs. Why is it so difficult to withdraw escorts to VIPs?
You see, I believe that it's not difficult, but because of the classification of the VIPs, I think each IG that comes will want to see an audit of their men to see who and who is attached. I don't have any problem, giving details to politically exposed persons, especially people who are in government, like the National Assembly members of the executive ministers, and all the rest of them. But I get worried when you see people of no means, people who are known fraudsters being protected by the police. That's my concern. And I believe with this present directive from the president, it must be carried out to the letter. Now, if you see the way police operates with these people, it calls to question the integrity of the people that are protected and the number of people being deployed. You can see a member of National Assembly, a senator, going with 10, 20 policemen. What is it for? You see all these people who are fraudsters going about with policemen. They pay for this. I agree. But if they must give out these policemen to people who are qualified to be given protection, politically exposed persons, I don't have a problem with that. But the IG must go ahead to ensure that people who are not entitled, these policemen are withdrawn. My reason is this. You remember when Michael Kiro was the IG. He told us we have 450,000 as at then police strength. And out of the 450,000, over 150,000 were deployed to VIPs. So where do you get the people to do the necessary...
Mr. Geoffrey, yes. 370,000 police officers is what we know we have at the moment.
No, I'm just coming to that.
No, I'm just trying to take you to the next conversation. And the new IG has said he needs another 190,000. The United Nations established protocol or prescription for
1 to 400.
The ratio is 1 to 400 and 450. But in Nigeria, is 1 to 600. Police officer to 600 citizens.
In Nigeria?
That's what the figure says.
It's more than
it should be more than that. But the question,
going with our population.
Exactly, especially if you estimate it at over 200 million.
Yes.
But the question is, can he get 190,000? If he withdraws, how many are the ones behind or the escorts on VIPs?
Yeah, the point I'm making is that, since then, in the past 8 years, people have been retiring and they are not being replaced in terms of recruitment. So we have less than the number. I don't have the exact figure, but we have less than that now. And if you can go to some stations, I pity the police. You go to some station, you see one policeman in a division or two. In a division, you call for help. There's no way they can come. There's no fuel, there's no vehicle, no writing materials, and all these things are there. But then,
use candles
if these people are withdrawn, let us enforce this withdrawal first and know the strength of the police. I'm not saying it's going to be sufficient, but let these people be withdrawn and see how they can be distributed. Like the Minister of State talked about, we should involve in community policing, because the number of police we have is definitely not sufficient to tackle our security challenges. So let us, the Police Service Commission and the IG, let them work together, ensure that this withdrawal is implemented. It's not going to solve our problem, but it's going to help to ameliorate some of these challenges we have in terms of security.
If the IG is asking, give me 190,000, that's invariably about 200,000 more police officers with the 370,000 that is presently on hand, that's going to take us to about 600,000. Some people say that might be a reasonable number of police officers. With the economy situation in Nigeria today, will a 600,000 police officer in the force help Nigeria's security situation?
Well, it's not going to help, because even if it's going to help, the problems and challenges are still there. How are you going to fund the training? You recall that there was a time these channels, you know,
we did an expose.
Yeah, expose in the police college. I don't think much has changed. Not because the police authority or management don't want to improve the welfare or training of the police, but the funds are not there. So how are you going to recruit 190,000? Are they going to be recruited without budget? Or are you going to do extraordinary budget with all these economic challenges we're having? Yes. So we need to get these people withdrawn and get the communities involved. The citizens have to be involved. We don't need to rely on security agencies or the police alone, even though the police is the lead agency. It's not stopping at the police.
Yeah.
You can see some people being guarded by the soldiers now, which is also not good. Our military is being exposed
and overstretched.
Overstretched. So we need men.
I look at what happened today in Kaduna, where officers of Nigerian Air Force, the EFCC arrested some officers of the Air Force, and the officers of the Air Force went and executed a release of one of theirs.
Yeah, I don't have the details of that matter, but what I saw is that NAF raids EFCC over.
They stormed their office. There was somewhat a kind of siege, and you wonder what kind of country are we in?
That shows you the issue of rivalry. But the rivalry,
I can tell you, or illegality. How can the military go to?
I can tell you,
an anti-graft agency
at the leadership level, management level, there's much synergy. But the problems are coming from this rank and file, because I'm sure no management staff or senior officer of the Air Force could have authorized the raiding of EFCC. So they need to be talked to, and get these people. They need for them to work together, because if you, I don't know. I saw a video this morning, and people are saying it's skit. If it's skit, I expect the EFCC to come out and say something, because that's very dangerous.
No, the EFCC is already speaking about it.
They need to speak about it, make official statement.
They've made an official statement, and they said that unfortunately the intruders, after the sting operation, 6 military personnel who witnessed the operation at Disney Fried Chicken Eatery stormed the Kaduna command and attempted to forcibly release the arrested fraud suspects. They were subdued and detained over the security breach. The intruders are 4 Air Force personnel. While in detention, there were interagency communication and discussions by the leadership of the EFCC and the Nigerian Air Force now to resolve the issues. Unfortunately, dialogue on the release of the combative Air Force personnel broke down on Friday when some unruly NAF officers stormed in Kaduna Command in a commando style to forcefully release their detained colleagues. This is not a banana republic.
That is exactly the point I'm making. But beyond this, I'm happy the EFCC has issued a statement.
It has a statement from the EFCC.
But the one I'm even talking of is not related to this. There's a skit where a soldier was seen to be beating
some EFCC official. And disarmed.
Whether it's a skit or it is real. The EFCC needs to, because it doesn't portray the agencies in good light. They need to also make a statement on that. But I believe that the management of the Air Force and the EFCC should investigate it and bring the culprits to book. Because if you continue to, it shows more bad blood among the agencies. When they see, you see any EFCC official now, the Air Force sees the EFCC official, you want to take a revenge. Or the EFCC will also want to take a revenge. So this is not good for us. We need to work harmoniously and work together.
I imagine that there will be a very stern, strong statement from the federal government about this kind of situation. Because this is not the first time. You remember what happened in Lagos, where, is it the police now or which agency went to was it the DSS or so, that went to the
EFCC
EFCC and the DSS. So,
yes.
I mean, this kind is a disgrace of some sort. When you see agencies, security agencies, maneuvering over one another, and this kind of public display of shameful display of arrogance and powers and all what have you. But I mean, moving forward, you heard what Mr. Ribadu said, that he met a lot of tough things on the ground, and he's asking for patience. Do you think the Nigerians have that kind of patience?
Well, we have no choice than to exercise patience. You recall that was on this table when Ribadu was appointed, NSA, there was a lot of opposition against his appointment. And I said, we can't continue to try the same thing, the same way, and expect a different result. Yeah. The military has had the headship of the National Security Advisor. Now, he has come out. You can see from what he's saying, he's not restricting himself to security. He'll go into economy, he'll go into politics, he goes into, he makes statements. And these are statements bordering on security. So it's good that he's giving reassurance to Nigerians to exercise patience. But much as I agree that we exercise patience, things are getting real difficult and very, very bad. So the earlier the government takes the initiative to ameliorate the problem, the sufferings of the masses, the better. So it's not just sufficient for him to say. There's a direct correlation between economic stability and security stability. Exactly. Because when there's poverty in the line, crime rate is likely to go on the rise. And in fact, in Abuja, you see the suburbs. There's not only in the suburbs. You can see there are kidnappings. Crime wave now going up. In Maitama, it's at the heart of the city. Just few meters away from the Aso Rock Villa. I mean, and these things are happening every day. There are stories of private parts theft and all whatever. And disappearance of private parts. Yeah, these are stories. But if there is something that you think that the president needs to show to Nigerians that he's on top of the game in terms of security, what do you think he should be doing right now? Well, you see, we're going into the end of year and Christmas, which normally witnesses a rise in crime wave. So Nigerians must be security conscious. They must assist our security agencies by volunteering information, like he's always said. You see something, say something. So let us just fold our hand, because it could be anybody can be a victim now. So we need to support our military. But if the president needs to do something now to show Nigerians that he's resolute, not only in tackling any other aspect, because we're challenging on every side, but in terms of security, this very decision now must be followed through of withdrawing the policemen there. At least that will give reassurance, whether it is effective or not, but it will give reassurance that people have been withdrawn and we have more men to work with. Mr. Mike Ejiofor, our former DSS director, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.